Hello, I am Lauren Stratton, and this is my introductory video. I originally did this on Powtoon, and I was trying to record what I was saying with all the slides, but I ended up talking too much, so I had to switch over, kind of like a typical teacher. I'm talking too much. So this is a quote I found that I felt really kind of fit in with my teaching philosophy and what I want to really aspire to be more and do better in my classroom is what we learn with pleasure, we never forget. So I want to do a lot more fun activities in my classroom so my students are engaged and enjoying everything. And my school is actually introduced, it's called Bedtime Math, and we have these two beach balls and it has numbers all over them, and the point is to toss the ball to a student, they catch it, and the numbers near their thumbs, they either add, subtract, multiply depending on the grade level. I was just starting with adding and subtracting for my second graders to kind of get used to it. So they're all having fun. You got some of that physical activity in there, and they're doing math. Have fun. A little about my educational background. I received my Bachelor's of Science in Child Development in 2017 from the University of Laverne. This is a picture of my cohort. We were able to do all the classes together, so I really enjoyed that. And then 2 years later, I received my multiple subject teaching credential also from the University of Laverne, and then that was last year, so I got in April, and then I got hired right after that, which leads me here. So this is just a little blurb. It was my very first year of teaching, and it's one for the books. I am a second grade teacher at a brand new charter school in Palmdale called the Palmdale Aerospace Academy, and we are Griffins in the Adorable, and I am currently doing distance learning teaching, and it's interesting, but it's going. It's amazing to see what the students are able to do. Kind of like, I've been like throwing out stuff and they're like, oh, that's fine. I'm like, I love you guys. And then these are my students. This picture is from a mystery science lesson we did. They were stranded on a desert island and they had to construct hats out of lunch supplies to protect themselves, so I like that one. And they all tried so hard. It was kind of tricky at times, but they did really well. And then we had another mystery science where they had to build paper towers, and it was so impressive, like the ones that got it right away and the ones that kept falling but they never gave up, which I was so proud of. And then this is us at Halloween. So a little about my teaching philosophy is I believe that students need plenty of time to play outside and in the classroom. Students need time to be kids. This kind of goes well with the bedtime math, where I can throw a ball in the middle of class and it's a math lesson, so I like that. And then the Albert Einstein quote is, play is the highest form of research. I used to work at a child-centered preschool that was like, they could do anything they wanted almost, as long as it was safe, but it was all about their learning. So that kind of influenced me in my classroom. And then a little more about my philosophy, teaching philosophy, is I never want my students to give up. And in my class we say, never throw your baked Alaska away. And I was watching the Great British Baking Show, and in it, one of the episodes, they're supposed to make this baked Alaska, which I'd never heard about before. And it's cake and ice cream covered in meringue that's supposed to like keep the ice cream cold. So one of the contestants, he put his ice cream in the freezer, and then a little while later, some lady took it out, another contestant being like, oh, I need to put mine in here. His is supposed to be in another fridge. And by the time he gets to it, it's about time to assemble it, and his ice cream's melted. So it was just going to be a bit of a disaster. So he just threw it away. He threw the ice cream away, he threw his cake away, he threw his meringue away, and during the show, they have to present what they make to the judges. And the judges were like, okay, so you had a problem with the ice cream, but how is the meringue? How is the cake? And he's like, it was fine. And they're like, well, you could have showed us something. Instead of just throwing it all away, you could have showed us something. And there was another contestant where hers was like all melting. But they ate it and they ended up loving the flavor. So they're like, it's a bit of a mess, but it still tasted good. So I tried to instill that in my students to never give up. It may not be easy or may not be going very well at first, but don't give up and at least present something, because something's better than nothing. So that was a big part of my year, and hopefully they remember if they go into third grade saying, I didn't throw away my baked Alaska. So I like that. And then my hobbies, which I should think about for not throwing my baked Alaska away, is painting. I do the painting nights where they give you the tutorials. Some go better than others, but I still like it going, and I get a little stressed out at a certain point, but I like having it all done at the end. And then our parent PTSO has created a virtual painting night for my students next week, so I think that's going to be wonderful. And then the big part about teaching is the people. So I just wanted to show off the people that keep me strong when I don't want to. And I like this little blurb of sometimes the greatest PD is the teacher down the hall. And this is me and some of the first grade teachers are trying to do hearts on Zoom. And it was for Pink on Wednesdays. And then this is part of my credential cohort from Laverne. And we are actually at Laverne for a literacy fair for the students over there. So that's a little about me and my teaching. Thank you for watching.